just all lining up, getting ready to leave. This is all the children in Rod's class. And here's Jared's teacher. Hi, Mrs. Jared. Give me a wave, everybody. Jared. Matthew. Okay, we're all situated on the bus now. Going to just take a view of the children. Children are singing and having a good time. Mom, down there! Have a little wave. Everybody. Take one of Miss Marion. I got her. Got everybody. Take a picture. I'll take a picture of you. And Tara, give me a wave, Tara. I'm excited about the trip. And some were so excited, they fell right asleep. Everybody's here. We got you on camera, guys.
If I touch poison ivy, will hear me.
We've arrived at SeaWorld.
4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, we'll see you back at the first show. Taylor group, head count.
1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. Over here. 6, 1, 2, 3.
Taylor group, wait.
Hi, everybody. Bye.
Look a little bit and then move on, so everybody gets a chance to look.
from those areas, and we do not want anyone to get hurt. So once again, students, please be sure to stay 2 feet on the ground at all times.
I can't see.
Whoa, look at this. Mom. I can record it. No, you cannot.
Everybody slow down! Make me, Julia! Kill the skinny legs with!
Everybody to the left.
To the left! Hey, this is my left! This is my right! Yeah, I'm going to the left! Going to the left! Go to the left! Which left? Which one's left?
Walk on up, children. I'll get you on tape. Follow Minnie. Mrs. Metz. Yes. I got all the late ones.
I petted duck. You got the duck? Yeah, so I did
Okay, keep together.
Amusement park, I'm gonna be there, and if you guys go, I promise you I'll sign you all pictures and autographs and stuff. So I'll be there tonight. from 7 to 9:30. And if you can't make it tonight, I'll be there tomorrow from 7 to 9:30. And also, if you have something to do at night, I'll be there in the afternoon from 2 to 4. So try to make it if you can, and I'd like to see you out there. Take care.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Mary. I'm one of the instructors here at SeaWorld. I'd like to welcome all of you here today, especially to the Sea Lion in Honor Stadium. We are going to start a show called What is a Pinniped? By the end of this show, you will be able to tell me what a pinniped is. A pinniped is an animal like a seal, a sea lion, or a walrus. There are actually 32 kinds of pinnipeds in our world. The first thing I'd like to tell you about them is that they have something in common with us. Pinnipeds are mammals, just like you and I are mammals. Characteristics, those same 5 characteristics as we do. One of those characteristics is that their babies grow inside them and then are born alive right from their mothers. And their mothers have the ability to produce milk right in their body, and those babies will drink the milk to grow and to be
Come on, Clyde.
nutrition.
I think yeah, right there. There you go. Ooh. Okay, thank you. Very good. Oh, hi, everybody.
Hi, Jim.
Go ahead, you can do what you're doing. You won't bother Clyde and I.
Okay, we just started going over mammals. We said mammals are born alive. We know they can nurse from their mothers. They have lungs inside of their body, so you'll know that these seals and sea lions are all holding their breath under the water and coming up to the surface to take
Mary.
breath air.
What are you talking about?
We're talking about pinnipeds.
Well, what's a pita bread?
Jim, it's not called pita bread. They're called pinnipeds.
Oh, okay, well, go ahead.
Well, we're just saying that pinnipeds are mammals, and that I couldn't.
Clyde. Sorry.
Jim, would you like to know what a pinniped is?
Yes, please.
Okay. Well, pinnipeds are animals that have.
Excuse me. What is it, Clyde? I know, you're trying to interrupt the Red Show. What is it? Oh, Clyde said he'd like to stay and learn more about pita bread, but he's got a swimming lesson we have to get to, so we're going to take off, okay? So, see you guys later.
Wait a minute. Jim, since you and Clyde are out here right now, and we are talking about pinnipeds, and I actually think as an educator here at SeaWorld that Clyde is a pinniped, and I bet the boys and girls would agree with me. Do you think Clyde's a pinniped?
Clyde, she's calling you names. You're not a pita bread, are you? I don't think so. But if he was a pinniped, we should probably take a closer look at him and see. If he was a pinniped, hey, I got it right that time. If he was a pinniped, he would have a right front flipper. Once you back up there, Clyde. There you go. Stay right there. I didn't mean all the way over there. So why don't you come back over here and we'll try this again, and we'll see if you're a pinniped. Clyde, come on over here. Hey, Clyde, come here. Thank you very much. Okay, now if he was a pinniped, stay right there. If you were a pinniped, you'd have a left front flipper. And you'd have a right front flipper. And he'd probably like to dance.
No, we just got carried away a little bit.
Sorry.
Well, at least we know definitely has flippers, and that's one characteristic of being a pinniped. Think we could take a closer look at him and see what else he has?
I think so. Okay, now Clyde is a pinniped. He's a California sea lion, and you saw his front flippers when he was trying to dance. Now some of his other features or adaptations, we'll start from his nose and we'll work all the way back. Here, Clyde, sit in front right there so that they can see you. Now, on the tip of his face, he has a nose just like you and I, but he has a muscle in that nose so that when he goes underwater, he can close that muscle, much like you pinching your nose to dump in the water sometimes. He can use that muscle to close his nose. The next thing on his face you see are his vibrissae or whiskers. He uses these to feel his way through dark, murky waters, and possibly if he can't see the food that he's feeding on, if he's swimming up behind a fish, he can feel it with his whiskers and then grab it. That leads me next to his sharp teeth. He doesn't use his teeth for chewing like you and I do. He uses them for ripping and tearing. If the fish or things that he's eating is too big, he'll rip it and tear it, and then he'll swallow it whole. Now, if it's small enough for him to get into his mouth, he'll swallow it whole. And as soon as he sits front right here, as soon as you sit front right there, I'll go ahead and give him some fish, and we'll show you how he swallows it whole. Stay right there, Clyde. Now, I have this fish right here. Whoops, right there. Hang on 1 second. There we go. We've got this great big fish, and we've got these little fish right here. Now these fish are small enough for him to swallow whole, so I'll just watch him go right down. Now this fish is a little bit bigger, so he may have to grab it with his teeth. Let's see if he does or if he swallows it right down. Grabs it with those sharp teeth and then swallows it right down whole. Now on the front of his face also he has eyes just like you and I do, but he has a teary layer over the surface of them that helps protect it from debris that may be in the water. Now let's see, on the side of his head he has these little things called ear flaps. Now these make him different from a seal. A seal simply has ear holes in the side of his head, whereas Clyde has ear flaps. Come on down here, Clyde, let's show him your body shape. Now, you saw his very strong front flippers. Now his body shape, if you can see, from his head to his tail, is very streamlined like a torpedo. This helps him move very quickly right through the water. There we go. And then you see his rear flippers, which he uses for steering. Now, also on his body, you can see that Clyde has hair. Stay right there, Clyde. We're going to show him your hair. And an interesting fact about this hair is that it all grows from his head all the way down to his tail, so that when he's swimming through the water, the hair flows right from his head, flows back, and makes him look very smooth in the water. Very good. Also, another thing that Clyde has underneath this fur is a thick layer of blubber. Let's see if we can make Clyde's blubber jiggle. Okay, Clyde, I'm up there. Now, Clyde's blubber can be up to 6 inches thick. Clyde, this isn't the time to show off. We're trying to talk about your body parts. And I think that's all the body parts Clyde has as a pinniped. So we're going to go ahead and take Clyde in the back, and we'll bring you out another pinniped, okay?
Wait, Tim. You had mentioned before that Clyde was taking swimming lessons.
Yeah?
I was wondering maybe if we could watch and see how he swims.
You guys want to see Clyde swim? Okay. Well, we're going to bring out one of Clyde's other coaches. That's Craig over there. And we're going to show you how he swims. Come on over here, Clyde. Okay, we're going to do a little swim lesson so these guys can see how pinniped swims, okay? So let's show us by showing them how you swim. Hang on a second, Clyde. We got to go to your coach. Swim. That's not the way we taught you. Let's try it one more time. Hey, Clyde, come on back here. Okay, we're going to try this one more time, okay? Left, right, left, right, left, right. What do you think? Is that the way pinniped swim?
I don't think so.
All right, come here, Clyde. Let's see if we can show him it this time. Ready? Swim! Okay, Clyde, that's great. I like it that way.
Jim, have you ever heard of the doggy paddle?
The doggy paddle.
That's kind of what it reminded me of, moving their flippers this way and this way. I remember swimming that when I first went into the water.
Oh, that's right. Clyde's not really supposed to swim that way. He was just goofing around. Why don't you hop in the water, and we'll do a little bit of playtime with Clyde. We'll do some fish toss, and we'll have him swim back and forth as fast as he can. Water. There you go. He's going to turn around and look at me. Okay, stay right there. and we'll throw them some fish. And this is actually how a sea lion swims. They use their front flippers to propel themselves through the water, and their rear flippers for steering. You can see how maneuverable Clyde is when he gets to a corner. He can get to the corner, turn his back rear flipper sideways, and turn himself right around. And they can swim at speeds up to 12 miles an hour, just like this. Okay, that's how they swim. Now can we go to our swim lesson?
And I was wondering if Clyde could show us how he climbs, and then I heard also that sea lions can dive off of rocks, and I was looking around the stadium, and I think probably right over there would be a really good place to watch Clyde dive off of there.
You guys want to see Clyde dive off? Okay, Clyde, they want to see you dive off the tower, so go all the way up there. Clyde, you don't have a broken flipper. Now they want to see you jump and dive, so let's see him jump and dive. Now another interesting feature, if you guys could be quiet for 1 second, as Clyde goes up the stairs, you can see that Clyde has his rear flippers that tuck underneath him, and that's called a pelvic girdle, and that helps him to climb up on rocks. Okay, everybody can be quiet for a second so Clyde can hear me. Okay, Clyde, you're 20 feet above the pool, and these kids want to see you jump. You're not scared, are you? That's enough, Clyde. Well, you guys can see he's a little bit scared, so we're going to need your help. I'm going to count to 3, and I want you to yell jump as loud as you can, and we'll see if we can't get Clyde to jump off that tower, okay? 1, 2, 3.
What do you think, Tim? Are you convinced that Clyde's a pinniped?
Yeah, I'd have to say he's a pinniped.
He sure is. In fact, his scientific name happens to be Xylophus californianus.
Hey, watch your mouth.
All that means, Jim, is Clyde's a California sea lion.
Oh, you're right. Clyde is a California sea lion, and he's found on the rocky coastlines of California, all the way from, where you going, Clyde? Back up there. All the way from Canada, all the way down into Mexico. Well, we're going to go ahead and take Clyde back, and I'll find you guys another pinniped. I'll be right back, so don't go away.
Oh, great. That'll be great to see another pinniped. Thanks, Clyde. You can give Clyde a hand for helping us out.
Bye here. Over here. Okay, great. Thanks.
Uh-oh. I think Jim just called it a little furry pinniped, and that definitely is not a pinniped. Did you see any flippers on that animal? No. I think...
Hey, check it out. It's another pinniped.
Jim, that's not a pinniped.
It's not?
It's a mustelid. His scientific name is Lutra canadensis.
I thought he was a North American river otter.
He is a North American river otter, but North American river otters are not pinnipeds. They're mustelids.
Oh, mustelid. Well, okay. Well, since he's out here, let me tell you a little bit about my friend Opie Otter. Opie Otter isn't really a pinniped. He's actually a mustelid, but he is very well adapted for the land and water, just like Clyde is. And we're going to bring Opie Otter over here. We'll ask him to go in the water, and we'll show you how he swims. Water. Good boy, there you go. It's right behind you. Now, you can see that he's very well adapted to the water, but he swims using his front paws and rear paws to propel himself through the water, whereas Clyde uses his flippers to pull himself and steer. Opie Otter uses his tail to steer. He goes back in the water. Very good, Opie. All right, now, you can see him using his tail to steer in the water. Another interesting thing he uses his tail for is to balance himself on the land. You see, he stands on his back paws and uses his tail to balance him. Very good, Opie. And as Opie goes in the water, you'll see that there's a layer of bubbles. Come on over here, Opie. Good. Let's go in the water one more time. Okay, you can see there's a little layer of bubbles that comes off of his fur. What this is an oily layer on top of his fur that traps air in, because Opie Otter doesn't have blubber like Clyde does. He has a layer of fur with a coating of oil that helps keep air trapped in to keep his body warm. Very good, Opie. All right, now you can see Opie's very well adapted. He likes to go through that podium there. He's very well adapted for running and scampering through the brush. This is because he feeds on crickets and frogs and little fish that are in the water. Where are you going, Opie? Come on, back over here. He feeds on crickets, frogs, any other insects that he can get, and sometimes he feeds on whole fish. Watch this. He'll swim behind a whole fish in a river or stream, he'll grab it and bring it out. Now when he brings it out, you watch him grab it. He chews his food like you and I do. He doesn't swallow it whole like Clyde, so he'll sit there and chew it up and swallow it down. He also does have vibrissae or whiskers just like Clyde, and he also does have that layer. So now that we know he's not a pinniped, I'm going to go ahead and take Opie out of the mastelid back in the back area, and we'll see if we can find another pinniped. Come on, Opie, let's go search for another pinniped.
Okay, good luck this time, Jim. I hope you find us a real pinniped. But it was sure fun learning about the North American river otter. Do you know that the North American river otter used to live right here in Ohio about 40 years ago? But because of people, because of pollution and human encroachment, they had to leave our area. Well, SeaWorld's pretty concerned about this, and we hope you are too.
Hey,
And we'd like to bring them back into the area.
Wait till you see this pinniped we found for you this time. He's
Okay.
a big one. Watch this. Okay, Craig, bring him on out. Here he comes. He's right behind there. Let's see.
You're sure this is a pinniped this
Yep,
time?
this is a pinniped, no doubt. And this is one of the biggest pinnipeds I've ever seen.
Did it have flippers, Jim?
He has flippers.
Did he have some blubber?
He has lots of blubber. Now you guys saw Clyde, he has 6 inches of blubber. This guy that's coming out right now, he has up to 12 inches of blubber. And right now he weighs almost 2,000 pounds. Here he goes.
I see some body parts.
Is that a pinniped or what?
You got it, Jim. That's a pinniped. In fact, his scientific name is Onabetus rosemaris.
Otherwise known as Pacific walrus. And this particular walrus is found all around the Arctic Circle region. Now right now Wally Walrus weighs about 1,500 pounds and he's 4 years old, and when he's full grown he can weigh up to 6,000 pounds. Now you can see that thick blubber layer that I was talking about. He's going to come out there and take a look at everybody. There you go. You can see that thick blubber layer that I was talking about. It can be up to 12 inches thick on Wally Walrus. Now he does have the same traits as the pinniped. You can see when he swims, he uses his rear flippers to propel himself through the water, and he uses his front flippers to steer with. He uses those rear flippers in a fan motion. Now when he comes up on the glass or comes near the front of the glass, you can see that he also has vibrissae. He also has that teary layer on his eye, but one special thing that a walrus has that Clyde doesn't have are his tusks. Now these tusks are used for defending himself, and they're also used for pulling himself up onto the land or the ice floes. Now you can see, I'm getting a good look at those tusks. Right now Wally's only 4 years old, so the tusks are relatively small, but when he's full grown, those tusks can be up to 1.5 to 2 feet long. Right now he's playing back and forth, so as soon as he comes over here, you can get a better look at the way he swims. You can also get a better look at, he does have fur on his body just like Clyde. Not actually as much because he has that thick layer of blubber, so you can see that he has just a little bit of fur here and there, but that does make him a true mammal. So as soon as we can get him over here, now you can hear some of the vocalizations. Okay, now you can hear some of the vocalizations that he makes. They use these in the wild to possibly protect themselves, to scare their predators, and let other people know that other animals know that they're around. Alright, we're going to have our Wally Walrus come back here, and Craig's going to go ahead and let him go home right now. And then we're going to go ahead and answer some of your questions, but we're also going to talk about how you can adapt to water, to a watery environment. So
Great, thanks, Jim. You know, that's a wonderful pinniped to watch and to learn about the walrus. It's not often that you can go to the Arctic and watch the walrus. But boy, are they perfectly adapted to live there. You can see that blubber on its body. No wonder he can live in such a cold place. And those tusks would help him climb up the icebergs where he lives. He has those vibrissae on his face to help him feel around the water for food or for clams or fish, whatever it decides to eat. We also saw our sea lion today, and our sea lion looks a lot different than the walrus because they live in a different place. They have different body parts. They have a little bit longer flippers on their body because they like to climb up rocky coastlines where they live. They also have not as much blubber as the walrus because they don't have to live in a very, very cold spot like the walrus does. It's fun just to watch imagine if we went into our oceans and we decided to live there as well, we would need very different body parts than the animals. That's what we have right now. We're perfectly adapted to live here on the land. We have our feet and our legs and our hands and our arms, perfect for running, perfect for walking, perfect for living right here. But if we went into the ocean and had to live there, we would have much different body parts. What we're going to do right now is to change somebody into an oceanic person. I have a person over here named Brian. Brian, if you want to come right over here. We're going to change Brian right now and let him live in the ocean and find out what kind of body parts would he need to live there. We learned about lots of body parts or adaptations today, so a lot of them are going to sound very familiar. Brian, the first thing we probably want to give you is some flippers. And those flippers would help you swim in the water. We're going to have Liz show you the flippers that we'll put on Brian, and they'll look a lot just like Clyde's, don't they?
Yes, as a matter of fact, Clyde has 2 sets of flippers. He has that set on the front of his body to propel himself through the water that you saw, and he also has a rear set to help him steer.
Perfect, okay. So Brian has flippers just like Clyde. He's ready to swim in the ocean. But you know what, Brian? If you go into the ocean for a very long time, I know your skin's going to start to prune out. If you've ever been in the bathtub too long, that happens. So to go into the ocean, we'll need to give him a wetsuit, something to protect his skin.
Now, Clyde's protection would be 2 things also. It would be that thick layer of blubber that we talked about, and it would also be his long hair that all grows in one direction to help insulate his body.
Great. You know, we have the flippers, and now we have the blubber layer or the wetsuit. What else we're going to have to give you, though, is something to breathe with. I think we'll give him the snorkel first. That way, when he comes up to the surface, he can take a breath of air and he won't have to bring his whole head out of the water to breathe. It reminds you a lot of a whale's blowhole. They're on the top of their head so they don't have to come to the surface and take their heads out. They can just expose that blowhole.
Clyde has the same thing. He has his nose at the front of his body so that he can simply bring that nose up out of the water to take a breath. And he also has that special muscle that helps him open and close the muscle and decide if he wants to take a breath or not.
Great, but you know what? What would happen if Brian wanted to go into deeper depths in the ocean? That snorkel's not going to do him very good because we're not very oxygen efficient people. We don't have to be. We're oxygen efficient to live on the land because we can constantly breathe in the oxygen. But in the water, I think Brian's going to have to bring some of that oxygen with him. So we'll give him an oxygen tank. That way he can carry it with him as he's diving deep into the sea.
Very good, Clyde. Now, Clyde doesn't have an oxygen tank with him, but his body is very oxygen efficient, and he can hold his breath for up to 1/2 hour at a time.
Great. You're almost set, Brian. I think you have a lot of things, but you know what? To go into the ocean, he's going to have to protect his eyes. Because if he opened his eyes, there might be some debris that would fall into those eyes. So we're going to give you a dive mask. That way it'll protect your eyes from all the debris in the water.
Now, Clyde's protection for his eyes is that teary layer that helps him protect him from the debris that may be in the water. He doesn't actually have a mask, but he has the teary layer that comes across his eye that runs out and helps keep the things out of his eyes.
Good. Okay. One last thing, Brian. I'll only give you one more thing. But you're going to need to eat, and you're going to need to hunt in the ocean. So let's give him a knife. And that knife then will represent what Brian can use when he's hunting the food that he needs to eat. How about Clyde?
Clyde has those very sharp teeth that he uses for protecting himself and for catching the food that may be too big for him to swallow.
Perfect. You know, I think that Brian's ready for the ocean. What do you think, Brian? Of course. For a little while anyways. Let's give our oceanic man a nice hand. Thanks, Brian. Liz will change you back into a land mammal. And what we'll do right now is we'll say goodbye to Clyde. And if you have a couple questions that you would like to ask Jim, our trainer, now would be a good time to do that. If you want to raise your hand, I'll try to relay some questions back to you. Jim, you might want to tell them the basics about the depths of the water.
Okay, the pool here we have at SeaWorld is man-made salt water, and it's 3 feet at that end and 10 feet at that end.
They'd like to know if the walrus would ever be able to dive off of there.
No, actually, the walruses in their natural environment don't die.
And now it's lunchtime. Can I get a wave, guys? How about a wave, girls? Good. Enjoying your lunch? How about a wave? Minnie? Got a good lunch there?
I have a good lunch.
How about a wave? Good lunch? How's your lunch, Jared? Hey guys, you got a good lunch?
Yeah.
All right.
Right over here.
Is my breath good? Go. Okay, enjoy. Mr. Davis, you ready for lunch?
I'm ready. I'm hungry. What do you want? Here, look at the camera.
Can I get a wave? Thank you. Now they're waiting to go into the souvenir shop. Pick up a few souvenirs. As you can see, everyone's anxious to do a lot of buying. We've got kind of a long line here. But we are patiently waiting. So everyone just has to wait their turn.
Oh, you're Michael.
Walk up. Walk up. We are now at Shamu Stadium, waiting for the show to start. See if we can get a picture of everybody. Hi again, Minnie. Hi, children. Mr. Davis.
Yummy, yummy.
Mr. Davis. Okay, children. How about a wave?
Love mine, don't you?
Just a few of the people that are here. You can see we really have a nice big group. Children in schools from
train behaviors, we break them up into very small steps, which we call approximations. Now, these approximations build upon one another. As an animal learns one approximation, we go on to the next approximation. Now, there's some other important things about training that you have to know, too. It takes a great deal of patience with working with animals. Some animals are new to our facilities, and so they need a lot of time, just spending time with them and getting their trust, and just, like I said, spending a lot of time with them. Now, right now, it looks like we're set up here, and this is Lucky. And what we're going to do is, the ceiling there, we're going to lower down a high jump target. Now, Lucky already knows, through approximation, to go out and swim to that target and touch it with her rostrum, the end of her face there. Now, what we're going to do is build on that and try to raise that ball up higher and higher to teach her that we want her to go as high as she can go. Now, it looks like we're going to get set up here. This is Pam with on stage. This is Lucky, as I said. Now, one of the things I want you to pay close attention to is around Pam's neck, she's got a whistle. Now, when she blows that whistle, it's a signal to our animals that they're doing something correctly, that they can expect to receive some type of fun reward. Now, those rewards take a lot of different forms. It might be a rub down, it might be a favorite play toy, anything that we can think of that's a lot of fun for these animals to let them know that we really appreciate what they do with us. Now, you heard that whistle. And Lucky's going to return to Pam now. And we're going to try that one more time. You notice she pointed right to the target. Lucky's going to swim out there, touch it, and there's the whistle. Now that was a nice return for Lucky. So what we're going to do is, like I said, we're going to build on our approximations and take that ball a little bit higher. Jump like that because she may not understand that we want her to go from the surface all the way up there. So we're going to take a couple steps back and lower that ball a little bit. Give her a chance to succeed at a higher level, but not quite that high. Now I think what we're going to do here is we're going to get that swing on the ball. So we want to set our animals up to succeed. We want to always be fun and positive with them. So to help them, we raise that ball and lower it down to the surface, I should say. Swing out. And I think we're finally set up to go. Take it up a little bit. Okay. All right, let's see what you can do. That's good, right there. Sometimes, folks, it's harder to train the trainers than it is the animals. All right, let's see what you got going here. So you're going to take a deep run. And spend a lot of time with her, maybe rubbing her down a little bit. As I said, it's really important to let the animals know that we really appreciate the things that they do with us. Now, okay, I think we're getting set up for one more approximation. As you can see, it's pretty high. So we're going to see how Lucky can do in just a minute. Now, what we have to do is give a hand signal there. From that minute, Lucky's going to take a side bow and go down to the bottom. Take a deep run and let's see what you can do. Well, as you can see, Pam's kind of, for a moment there, for about 3 seconds, she was kind of
does a Pacific white-sided dolphin get?
Well, Betty, Patty, and Lucky are fully grown female Pacific white-sided dolphins, and they're approximately 300 pounds.
How fast can killer whales swim?
Now that's another good question. Killer whales actually can swim up to about... Now each of these hand signals has been paired with each behavior that the animals know. So that when they see that hand signal, they understand which behavior we're asking them to do. So hey, I want you to shape and take it over. Everybody, we're going to do something called fluke waves. So you folks sitting in this section here, if you want to help us out, you can take your arm like this, okay? And then draw it down in front of your stomach like that, all right? That's a signal for a fluke wave. Let's see what Shammy does. 1, 2, 3. And there's a fluke wave. Now, as Judy mentioned, we also use body language. And that way we can actually move our bodies and the animals will actually move along with us. Now why don't we look over here? I think Pam's going to show us an example of body language. She's going to turn around in a circle and look at Shamu. Now there's one last way that we can communicate with our killer whales and dolphins, and that's through the use of underwater sounds. Now currently at SeaWorld we're studying the use of this underwater sound system. We're still researching it. What we've done is we've paired sounds that these animals can hear with individual behavior. So when they hear those sounds, I should say, they understand which behavior we're asking them to do. Now eventually, further research and study, we hope...
Okay, give me a wave, everybody. Hi. Okay, quiet down, quiet down.
I'm number 9!